I usually journal with pen and paper, well, scrapbooking safe pen and paper, but this time I'm using someone else's words that's already typed out, so now I'm journaling with a computer. Last week on the Lazy Scrapbooker's next big project, I completed the power layout for the Boston leg of the trip. That included 3 days of photos, and I successfully planned for 41 pages, just one page beyond my expectation of 40 pages. After leaving everything on the floor for a few days, I finally came back and completed the paper selections for those pages. The next step, format the journaling and print it if I had time before attending a retreat on March 21st. Hi, I'm Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker. Thank you for joining me on my next big project. We're going to plan, organize, and create a pair of albums to celebrate my husband and son's 15-day road trip, their baseball blowout. On Friday, it was an early morning at 8 o'clock a.m. to set up for my all-day crop. Lots to unload, lots of tables and chairs to set up. I have such good help. And a fun day of teaching classes, showing products, and great fellowship. Did I get any journaling done for the power layout like I'd planned? Not one bit. On Saturday, I wrapped up everything for my crop, and then we were preoccupied with the prediction of terrible storms and tornadoes for our area. To be safe, we planned to spend the night in the basement in a room without windows. I'd sleep in a reclining chair. Nathaniel, being young, would be fine with a sleeping bag. Nicholas had a blanket, and I made Jeff take the air mattress so his back would be functional the next day. Nicholas looked around and decided the air mattress was the best and settled in. Good luck with that, Jeff. On Monday, I was finally ready to spend some time working on the project, but rushed to the store when a team member texted me that there was a great sale on Coke products. I'm hosting a retreat at the end of the month, and I had to stock up. So, first things first. So, I'm here in my very messy craft area, and I am ready to tackle the journaling portion of what I've already done in the power layout because I'm packing up to go to the advisor retreat, and I want to be able to finish the pages without having to come home with a sticky note on them telling me how big the journaling needs to be. But if that happens, it's okay. But I want to do as much as I can. Now, normally I would do this as I finish each page, which, to be honest, is a little time consuming because I'm scrapbooking here. My computer's in the other room. I've got it here on my table right now. I would normally get up and go and print and do about a page worth at a time. So this is kind of a neat idea to see if I can make this happen and do all this journaling at once for, what is it, like 41 pages. So here we go. I've got the outline, which is so helpful because I picked this up and I was like, what day is this? I don't know, but I found out it was the end of day 2. And then I've got the original journaling, which I really don't need because it's all here on the computer. And I have done this so that I know what I've included and what I've not included. I have grayed out the text a little bit if I've already printed and included in the album, and it's in black text if I have not done that. So that's a very helpful tip. So I've got that, I've got my outline, and I've got the power layout box right here with everything that has been laid out that I have not scrapbooked. So it's honestly, I think, closer to 50 pages here since I'd already done some of the power layout. So I think what I'll do here, and I was considering putting up another table that was empty to spread this out, but I have taken over enough of this house with my scrapbooking stuff. So I'm going to keep it right here at the craft table. Not that they would mind, but I'm trying to be polite. So here's this first page, and this is their game, which is a 2-page spread right here and here at the Lancaster Stormers. I got a great tip from one of the viewers from episode 6 when I said, I kind of place these out and I know they're going to get all disarray when I put them back in the box. They take pictures of theirs. What a great idea. I've never done that because I am a lazy scrapbooker and part of me just doesn't care. But you know what? I kind of care since I'm considering how much to do for this journaling. So I may actually do that little idea they had there. I thought it was pretty brilliant. And it's a great idea for you if you actually do care more than I do, and you probably do, of where the placement is when you're putting in your power layout. So what I could do is I could place it around where I might like things. If it's really important to me, whatever, take the phone, my phone's right here right now, and snap a picture of that, or maybe of both pages at once. So then when I get to that, maybe also put them in a little folder on my phone so they don't get lost in all the other pictures that I take, which, so many of the cat and of other things, videos such as that. So that's kind of a neat idea to take pictures of it and put them in a folder. I might do that. What I don't have in here is a pack of Post-it notes. I don't see the, oh, there they are. There they are. Gotta have Post-it notes. I thought I was gonna have to go get them, but I may have to go change. It feels like it's 90 degrees in here and I'm wearing a sweatshirt, which I just can't deal with. So I may go change. So let me get something to write with. Photo labeling pencil. All right, and now I'm ready. Okay, that's better. I think I am going to take pictures of some of these pages. And since I'm not going to print this until I've got it all ready to print, it's going to get hard to do that without me getting up, going 2 rooms away, putting it out on the pool table so that I can then go and put the journaling there after I print it. So what I'm going to do, I just wrote these 2 little cards right here, journaling. I wanted them in something bright that I could see in the photograph. So like I'll put it down right here where it's supposed to go so that when I take a picture, I'll know where it's supposed to be. This will be my picture right here. And now what I do before I'll print the journaling is I'll basically measure how much space I have. So it's about a 6-inch wide photo. And then we have about, if I space these carefully here, I can have up to, I would say, 3 inches tall. So basically 6 inches wide almost by 3 inches tall. Maybe taking a little bit off of that to allow for a journal mat if I want to put a background behind it. So now I'm going to read through what Jeff has written about these 2 pages and edit as needed. He abbreviates a lot, like N instead of Nathaniel, and just make sure it is suitable for a journaling box. I also had to scroll up here because that was quicker than going to the pages I've already done 2 rooms away and see how I formatted this, because I want the heading for every game journaling to be the same. Perfect. Just as I think it's going really well right here, I look over and on the next page, I've got the beginning of day 2, which is on the end of day 2. So I've clearly made a mistake and now I'm going to have to go grab the pages that have already been done and find out what I did wrong. That is the risk that we take when we don't work on the album almost every single day, because it is very easy to forget what happened, especially when you're not the one that was on the trip. And I found where it's supposed to go. Here's my day 2 page right here. So this just got misplaced somehow. You know, I really need to do those pages. I need to get those done. But I do need to come up with some kind of little template almost so that they're somewhat the same. Simple, but the same. So I edited and formatted the journaling and it ended up being too big for that spot. Surprise, surprise. It would fit if I edited it a little bit, didn't leave such a gap there, and changed the font size from 14 down to 12 point. But we have a hard time seeing 12 point, even with glasses sometimes. So I like 14 point. It's just easier to read. I'm going to leave it that. I've already broken that rule on day 1 in that journaling. So I'm going to try to keep it at 14 point. Now, what I've done here, the right-hand side page is pretty full. So I'll just put the journaling in 2 spots here. I love this picture taking idea. Okay, so this will be my first picture. Click. So to keep everything organized, I just stacked the front page right here, going all the way down to those 2 pages that I just did. So I'll keep it top to bottom, first to last, just like I do in the Power Layout box. This is getting really easy by doing it this way. I love it. And here's my opening page for day 3. So I found this. Can't forget about this that I made myself. So I'm going to place this along with Jeff's mileage log here in the back. He is so organized. And I'm going to place this on the front, which is the first page, which is the day 1 opener. Because when we were watching the episode where I mentioned maybe I'll do a custom cover, Jeff was like, ooh, he loves custom covers. So that's probably what I'll do for these. So it's there on top of page 1 so I can set up sort of a template and do the same thing for each day and make it look really cool. I should take my favorite font that's very sporty, Collegiate, in black. I've got plenty of that with me so that I can use that to write day 1, day 2, and I think that will look good. It's the right font for it. So I'm keeping a list of everything I will need to take. Moving on to the next pages, I see that I have a sticky note for brochure pockets, so I reached behind me to find my pack, and I found one that would work for this little brochure here. It measures 8.5 by 4. We don't have an 8.5 size, which we really should because that's a pretty common brochure size, especially when it's just a regular piece of paper that's folded. But I did find a 12 by 4, so that's going to have to work. And on my page to the right here, I do find a sticky note that says any more firefighter stickers. Well, I did look and I did get rid of all the ones that I had. I sold them in a little bundle. But after watching my video, my team member Renee had some left over and she brought them all to me when she attended my crop last Friday. So thank you, Renee. How perfect is that? And Renee also brought me this paper from a paper pack she purchased, Wizard of Oz theme. I love it. She saw that my sister Lori and I went to the Land of Oz back in September and thought I would love this, and I do, so I appreciate it so much. I just need to put it somewhere so I don't lose it. Looking at this, I have about a 4.5 inch wide by 4 inch tall, and I've justified it, done the full justified over here to make it look really neat, which will be perfect for right here on this page. And I'm going to take another picture. Now I used a 5 by 12 brochure pocket for this one. It's a little bit tall, but the back of this is clear so that when I peel it off, you're going to be able to see what's underneath. So if I needed to, I could put a title or journaling there, but I have room down here as well. So I measure, and it's of course a 6 inch photo. So I'm going to say maybe about 5.5 inches wide of journaling to give myself room for a mat. And then we can say about 2 inches or so. One of the things I always like to have in a scrapbook is somewhat consistency, a little bit. It's one of the only things that I kind of stress about. I noticed that Jeff had put interesting things with some bullet points. I changed it to highlights of the game, but then down here on the third game, he had memorable moments. I love the alliteration, so I'm going to go with that and make the change up here in game 2. And it's good because I haven't printed yet. Knowing that I'm going to change things like this, it is probably in my best interest not to print until I've done all the journaling for everything in the Power Layout box. As I come up to the next 2 pages, I see my post-it note that says pocket page. So I've just gotten one so that I'll have everything I need to complete the page. So I just replaced the Power Layout divider with the actual pocket page. Actually, for stability, I will just put it on top of that. Okay, 2 more pages to take a photo of, and Jeff had some rather lengthy journaling right here, so I've put a peekaboo pocket in place, and I will put the photo on top, and then when you lift it up, and I need to take the tab punch, or punch some tabs ahead of time, I will put the journaling on 2 different cards, like when you lift the pocket up, and then underneath it as well. So this one's got a lot of journaling, here, 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 and here. Oh, I forgot about these little stickers that I got from the Passport to Adventure collection. They're pretty small. I love it that they're already done, and I could do 14 of the 15 days with this, but I think I may go with my collegiate ABCs. But when am I going to have the opportunity to use these again? I will not tell you how many times I have accidentally left these little temporary cards in the Power Layout and had to get up and go dig them out and find them again. When watching episode 6 together, Jeff saw this paper and said I did a good job choosing the right paper for that 100-year-old inn. He said it looked like wallpaper, which was totally what I was going for. It's always good to take a second pass through your Power Layout because as I'm going through this page, which is our first day, the end of our first day in Boston, I found this picture of the Granary Burying Ground, which we don't see until later. We were just taking pictures. So I'm going to take this off here and move that to the actual page where all those pictures are. It's okay to be out of order. So now I'm doing 4 pages at once, and these are the photos from the tour we took of Fenway Park, which was on the morning of our second day. So fortunately, Jeff's in the room, and I just asked him, can you come over here and tell me which pictures have the green monster in them, which, as he told me, is the giant left field wall right there. So I have done 1 page just for the green monster, so I can have fun with that. I had to rearrange some photos to do that and put all the ones of the green monster on 1 page, but that was very easy to do. They were really in no particular order. Jeff's journaling is proving to be so helpful, so much so that I'm not going to have to write anything in this album. It's all him, which is wonderful, even for the 3 days that I was there. Now, I am putting some notes here so that I can identify these photos because really I'd kind of forgotten, but his journaling is really helping me remember all the details. See, that's why we scrapbook. So I'm using my photo labeling pencil to write on the backs of some of the photos, just so I don't have to write on all these sticky notes. Doesn't really matter. Because the great thing about the Creative Memories photo labeling pencils is that they're not going to smudge off. They are not going to indent the photo, so you're not going to see any markings on this side of it. So it's a very photo safe way to write on the backs of photos. And if you keep them nice and sharp, unlike me, and write like a human, then you'll be able to read what you wrote. So I've lost 2 more of my journaling cards. I only have 3. They're somewhere in here. I keep doing that. You know what? I'm just going to let it have that one. I don't know where it is. So I know I've talked a lot about how I was worried that all these photos would shift in the Power Layout box, but honestly, when I pulled them out just now, they were just like this. I haven't moved these around. So because this Power Layout box is so packed, these aren't going to move a lot, but I am still going to take the pictures of where the journaling goes and how I kind of want it, because I can see that saving me a ton of time and making this so easy. So much for that theory. This is how this page came out looking. I can tell you right now that this is time well spent. I am arranging things. I'm getting... I can tell you right now that this is time well spent. I'm getting to arrange things. I am kind of taking a second pass, making notes for myself. And of course, I am formatting the journaling, editing the journaling, formatting, and that is a huge part of it right there. So I have confidence that I may actually complete everything that's in this Power Layout box, which is, I think, 50 pages or less, at the advisor retreat. We'll see. Oh, and now I've come to the page of the Granary Burying Ground. So I'm going to put this picture on the page with that. And now that gives me 6 photos on a page. I don't love that. Let me grab a peekaboo pocket and put it on that page. So I just finished all the photos for Boston, and I've only got a few pages left from the end of that day for them. And now they had to, oh, how's it pronounced? What's spelled wrong here? Worcester. Worcester. Is that right? Worcester. Worcester? He says it. You sound better than I do. I'm reading Jeff's journaling for the first time here, and it's making me laugh. They took a selfie in front of Polar Park here, and I'd really not noticed that. I just thought they were in the area, and I didn't see the park in the back because it's so small. But it says, we took a quick selfie at Polar Park, home of the AAA Red Sox. Notice how I skipped the name right there. I just can't even do it. They were having a game, so we couldn't get very close. I thought about going, but we needed to do some laundry. So bless their hearts. If they hadn't had laundry to do, they would have added another game in there. How do you say it again? Worcester. Worcester. So I was going to do this life on the road thing, and I still may do that. But in his journaling, Jeff talks about having to miss the game and spend the evening in the laundry room. And while Nathaniel hung out, watching ESPN and not wanting to leave their clothes there, Jeff stayed and read a book. And then, of course, hung everything in the room. Then they went out to dinner. So this is kind of out of order. So I may rearrange this a little bit to tell the story a little better. Okay, and done. I just need to take a picture of this. Let me put where the journaling is going to go. I think it's over here. And that's it. It's now 10:30 at night. I looked back. I started this at 8:13. So that took me about 2 hours and 15 minutes to do all that journaling formatting and a few other things for this Power Layout. So that was a lot of time, but I really do think it was time well spent. I'm going to get so much more done at the retreat. I'll be ready to go. So now I just need to print pages 5 through 13, I believe. Let me double check. I just went to turn the printer on. Yes, pages 5 through 13. I'm going to do that now before I forget. Okay. And again, I'm not using any special paper. I'm just using copy paper, and I'm attaching it with vellum tape runner, which I need to take vellum tape runner. Great. I hear it printing 2 rooms away. Wonderful. So now I'm just going to take a picture of this, and then we'll start packing it up. Okay, so here's my empty Power Layout box. This is the bottom. I'm going to see if all this will fit. Now, this is only 1/2 of it right here. The pile got so high, I had to move part of it elsewhere. I was afraid it was going to just fall off. All right, so there's half of it. And here's my other half, which is not quite as tall, which is a good thing. So I think I have everything I need in there. I've got all the pages. I've got all the peekaboo pockets. I've got all the brochure pockets I need. I just need to get these items as well as the list I made when I did the Power Layout of all the punches and things I will need. Oh, it's so heavy. I don't know what this weighs. I want to go weigh this. My guess is 12 pounds. That is my guess. Let's go see. Well, it's too large to put on the scales by itself, or I won't see the weight, so I'm going to have to get on with it. And I'm not filming that. Okay, I was wrong. It is 9 pounds. That's not that bad. It's only a 9-pounder. So, but I don't have to worry about weight though, because I am going to put this in my carry-on. Can you imagine if my luggage got lost and the Power Layout was in that? I can't even imagine it. So my printer did that thing where I didn't have the little tray out and all the papers kind of did this. I just noticed about 10 minutes later. They're of course fine, but out of order. And so I'm going to take a quick pass through the Word document to make sure they're in order, because I really need that, because I'm not sure what journaling goes with what unless I look at the little journaling cards I did and they go in order. I can kind of figure it out, but let's not give me extra work to do. Back in order, 15 seconds well spent. Are you ready for this? I packed up all of my scrapbooking supplies last night that I'm going to take on the advisor retreat. It is a 3-day retreat. I am flying, so there's that. I had to really pare down everything. I think you're going to be impressed. As long as I can fit it in a large suitcase and it doesn't weigh over 50 pounds. I haven't weighed it yet. Check it out. That is it. That's all I'm taking to scrapbook. Now I'm going to put it all in this large bag that I'm going to check. So there will be some clothes in there with it. But let me show you what I've got. Okay, first I have my trimmer bag. And notice I went all rainbow dot on this one. It was important to me to match. So I'm going to use this trimmer bag. I'm going to put it in the suitcase, of course. In the back zipper compartment, I have foam squares and peekaboo pockets and some journaling write-on stickers in case I do have to make some captions. And then inside, I've got all 3 of my trimmers. I've got the 12-inch trimmer, the photo trimmer, and the decorative trimmer, which is the one with the wavy blades. Next, I've got the, oh yeah, this is gonna be more than 50 pounds. I don't wanna pay any money. I'll see what I can do. Oh my goodness. Next, I've got this Power Project case, and it's got my 12-inch supplies, basically. It's the only thing I have here that is 12 inches besides the Power Layout Kit. I've got my 2 mats taped together. I've got page protectors, feeling very ambitious with that one. Maybe a waste of space. And then I've got these Power Project folders with extra paper, because I don't think I'm gonna have everything I need with the Power Layout. We'll see, I might. Then I've got cardstock, shimmer cardstock, the letters I think I need. There's those collegiate letters, that's what I'm using. I've got, my embellishment tray. And then down the bottom, got pretty creative with this one. Since I'm not taking my tools organizer, I have my ruler, need that. I have part of my border maker system. I have an extra trimmer mat, which I could put in the trimmer bag. And this cool beer punch that I forgot I had. I took the beer mug, but I've got that one too. That's cute. All right, and so that buckles like this, and it's pretty heavy. Then I've got this adorable Memory Mate case, and inside here, I've got the dime punch. I should probably pre-punch something with that. That's a pound right there, and I'm only using it once, I think, maybe twice. Then I've got 4 border maker cartridges, and I've got 7 tape runner refills, and all that fits nicely in this little case. Then I've got the small flex pod, again, of course, in rainbow dots. And in here, I have the rest of the border maker system, 2 punches, pins on the bottom here, lots of pins if I do need them, and then all my tape runners, the actual cases with the tape runner in them, because I needed vellum for the papers that I'm attaching, and I need repositionable, I need the regular, and I brought the mini just for the heck of it. Then, getting greedy with this one, I brought the Rainbow Dot Crop Caddy, and it spins around. Woo. So I just brought this because, not to carry things, because it is so useful on my crop table. And hey, the black and white version, that is the Advisor Join gift for the rest of March 2025. So that plus a little pin organizer. But this thing is great. It doesn't take up much room and it holds so much. It just really helps me stay organized. Then, again, if there's room, I'm going to take my seat cushion because the host, Debbie, said the chairs are not that padded. So it'd be nice. That's a nice to have. If there's no room, I won't take it. And then finally, the most important piece, the 9-pound Power Layout. And that is not going in the checked bag. That is going with me in my carry-on because, hey, if something happened to that, I just can't even imagine. So that's it. That's all I'm taking to a 3-day retreat. Thanks to this guy right here, my friend and yours, the Power Layout Kit. With everything I had going on this week, getting ready for the advisor retreat, a retreat I'm hosting, and then my National Scrapbook Day after that, and so many other things, I wasn't sure I was going to have an episode, so I said, well, let me just sit down. I've got to do this journaling anyway. Let me format it to take it on the trip with me, and I'll film it and we'll see what happens. Well, once I started editing, I realized I have a whole episode with this. So I hope you got some great tips. I feel pretty good about what I've got accomplished to go on this trip. I am really hopeful. You'll see next week. Really hopeful I get all the pages done that are in the box. We'll see. If I do, that means I've got to work on more power layout to go on my retreat that I'm hosting, but I won't get a lot done there. I've journaled by computer before. I know I did for Jeff's military album, and I would print out some things for Nathaniel's baseball albums, like the schedule and scores, things like that, and maybe some really long paragraphs. But typically, I like to do pen and paper with my own handwriting. But since this is in Jeff's voice, I either have to get him to write it, and his handwriting's worse than mine, or I do what I just did and we put it on the computer and format it. So I hope you got some good tips on how to measure it, put it into place. We'll see if it all works out for me since I'm doing it ahead of time. And I love the suggestion that someone made of taking pictures of my pages, how I kind of want them. I know it's going to help me at this retreat. Whatever style of journaling you use, whether you're doing it on a computer or whether you're writing it with pen and paper, definitely journal. It's such a big part of scrapbooking. We don't remember all the details unless we write them down. I've really enjoyed reading what Jeff has written so far, and I'm so glad to have it in the album. I'm really appreciative that he's so diligent at journaling and getting the story on paper. If he still has them, I may take out his notes from his notebook and put them in a pocket page in the back. I think that would be kind of cool to have it in his handwriting. Handwriting is so important to have. So however you do it, don't be afraid to journal. Definitely get your stories into your albums. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. You just want to tell the story. I can't wait to get back with you next week. I just have to make time to make the video. Thank you so much for watching another episode of my next big project. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from this one. See you next week.